Hey everybody, I am back with another sort of vlog. This is just kind of what's been going on so far this week. I am kidless. My son is visiting family in Kansas City, and so it's funny when you're used to being attentive in some way or another 24/7 to go from that to suddenly, I still have the dogs, don't get me wrong, I still have the dogs to take care of, and I need to go into town to get my hours in for my day jobs, but everything else is kind of up in the air, and I am using the time to relax. I am decompressing, I'm reading, I'm hanging out on our porch, I am doing just some sketches for me, and I'll show you later on in this video that I am getting back into the SKTCHY app, which I have talked about in previous videos, not because I'm great at drawing people and drawing portraits, but because it's really good practice for me and really experimental and allows me to play with materials and have a subject in front of me that I don't have to think about other than thinking about how I'm going to portray it. And, I've been doing a little more unicorn stuff, lots more nature stuff, and I just thought I would show you what's been going on.
Now, I will admit to being kind of minimal with these videos because I have to edit them all on my phone. My laptop is too old, and because of software updates that increase in memory and power requirements, I can't edit video on my laptop. So we were taking a dog walk again this morning. My dogs woke me up at 5 a.m., which is not happy time for me. I'm so groggy when I'm walking them. It's kind of nice because the light is soft enough that I feel like I can kind of ease into my day. And as I'm walking, or I could say stumbling along, I gradually start to wake up and am unable to go back to sleep when we get back to the house. So the dogs get some water from the water that runs down to the river. And then we head back up to the house, and I poured myself some coffee. I like to add maple syrup to my coffee. Real maple syrup, not the nasty corn syrup stuff that's colored. And then I sat down in our little living area, looking out the window, getting cozy with my down blanket and my coffee. In Colorado, it is still really chilly in the mornings, which I kind of like because I like to cuddle up and just let the fresh air in. And then when everybody's taken care of and I've finally come to a little bit, I walked down to the car. I was wearing some bright tie-dye leggings today. Ooh, makes me a little bit dizzy. And then I headed to the library where I started migrating the content and the graphics from my Dancing Unicorns website to products on my Magic with Melly website. I set up the Dancing Unicorns with a QU unicorns site. I set it up last year with the intention of having an entire site dedicated to the unicorns. But Squarespace kind of stinks in that they don't let you translate the e-commerce portion of your plan to multiple sites. If you want multiple sites, even if you're paying for it on one site. So I wasn't able to allow anyone to purchase anything or even to embed, PayPal buttons in my Dancing Unicorns site. And so it just kind of sat there as kind of a unicorns portfolio, but I really wanted to make all these pieces that have just been sitting around available for, my patrons, for clients, for people who are inspired by the unicorn artwork and its magic and joy and want to have a piece of it in their home. So then you can see in my magical unicorn art that I've added all the rainbow pieces, I've added the Animals of Inspiration unicorns, and I've added this Dancing Unicorn series, which is watercolor on watercolor paper. Can't even talk today. Then mounted on gessoed, cradled wooden panels. And then here's where I'm getting back into sketchy. I sent a photo to my laptop because I was using my phone to record the video. And my goal with these SKTCHY, SKTCHY, for those of you who don't know, is an app. It's SKTCHY. And people upload their own photos that you then can use as reference photos. You can use them as inspiration. You can use them, to try to draw exactly. You can kind of use them however you like. And then the cool thing is that when you're done with a sketch or a finished piece, if you're doing something more extensive, you can upload it attached to their reference photo. So it really builds community. You draw other people and you attach your artwork to their photo, and then they see it and they get excited, and then sometimes they'll draw you, and so it just becomes this really cool interactive experience. And so I'm using a Pilot Parallel pen. These are really cool, and I was turned on to them by Vin Ganapathy. He is an artist that I encountered through Sketchbook School, a couple of their online courses, and then he is also a member of SKTCHY, so he draws pieces on SKTCHY and tags other artists as well. And so the Pilot Parallel pen, it's wide, and then when you turn it on its end, it's narrow, so you get really cool lines. And for me, it's just been a lot of fun to play around with the different quality of line work. And then something I have started doing in the last week or so since I've returned to SKTCHY, and I'm drawing more people portraits, which again, they're not my forte, but they allow me to play around with style and materials, and it's kind of fun, is to do an ink drawing either with a brush pen or with a Pilot Parallel pen, and then to play around with colored pencils on top. And for whatever reason, that is just the MO I've had for the last week or so, which is all I've been doing portraits for since, I don't know, a little bit this winter I may have done, and then I was kind of hardcore into the portraits the end of last summer and the beginning of last fall, before everything went on with, having to move multiple times and put everything in storage and not have access to art supplies as readily as I normally did. So you can just see I am, shading in with colored pencil. There's no real big science to this. This is just a little set of colored pencils by Blackwing. I really liked their graphite pencils, and so I wanted to see what their colored pencils are like. I love exploring and experimenting with different art supplies, different brands, different ways of putting the media together. And so then when I got home, I am playing around with an idea I had for the dancing unicorns. And so I sketched out 3 little unicorns on this piece, and then I go back, just like my mermaid process, I go back with a brush pen with permanent ink or nearly permanent ink, some kind of waterproof-ish ink. And then I'll go back, and I haven't determined how I'm going to treat these once I get them done, once I get them outlined and inked. I thought about maybe putting a band of watercolor, just a cohesive band of watercolor behind all 3, kind of carrying you across the page. I don't know, it could be a rainbow, kind of like my rainbow unicorn pieces. I could carry that theme into this piece and have them kind of be dancing on a waving rainbow, stripes across the page or something like that. I haven't quite decided, but you are in on the beginning of this experiment. And I haven't finished it yet as of the recording of this video, so you will have to tune in again to see what becomes of this piece and its magical beginning. And then I go back and I add my little details. At this point, I haven't erased the graphite lines yet, but once the ink is thoroughly dry, I'll go back and erase that. And then I'm going to show you one of the new stickers that I have had produced by Sticker Mule, because maybe these will make it into sticker form. In any case, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.